Hey, ChatGPT, help me get over public speaking anxiety. Hey, this is Kit Pang, the founder of Boston Speaks, and I recently went on ChatGPT to basically ask the question, how can I get over my public speaking anxiety? I recently went on ChatGPT to basically ask this question, and I got 10 tips in response. In this video, I'm going to be going over the response of ChatGPT and to really see which of these generated response can actually be helpful to you and becoming more comfortable and really getting rid of the speaking anxiety. Now, I am going to be reading the tips throughout and really just go by one and tell you, okay, what's good, what's not, and the reasons why. But first, I want to read this, okay? Here's the kind of like the paragraph intro before they gave me the 10 tips. Public speaking is a common challenge that many people face. Overcoming this anxiety requires time and practice, but there are several strategies you can try to help get over your fear. Here are some tips to help you manage and reduce your public speaking anxiety. Now, there's two words I want to get in there. They said in the intro. It says, overcoming this anxiety requires time and practice. And I have to nitpick this because is it really true that for one person or you or anyone else watching, it takes time and practice in order to get over public speaking anxiety? Is that really the truth? And I have to say, no, that is not. 99.999% of the clients that I work with, they have been practicing, they have the repetition, they have the skills, they've been to Toastmasters, they've been to all these things, but yet they still have public speaking anxiety. So why is it that if we spend more time practicing, learning more skills, why is that not as effective when it comes to overcoming public speaking anxiety? So let me tell you why. When it comes to practicing, okay, what you're really not doing is you're not addressing what's causing you to be afraid in the first place. You are going into sidetrack land. You know, what's causing you to have speaking anxiety? Let me give some examples. If my voice trembles, then people will judge me. If I forget my line, if I blank out, then people think I'm a stupid idiot. If I don't know how to answer a question to an answer, people will not respect me. They won't see me as the expert or the person that I'm in, okay? So no matter how many times that you practice, you can practice and say, oh, I'm going to script everything down. I'm going to have the answer to the question. I'm not going to have my voice tremble. You still never address why that is affecting you in the first place. So no matter how many times you practice, you're trying to not show those things. You're trying to not show the nerves. You're trying not to have you're trying not to not have an answer. You're trying not to blank out. So therefore, whatever you resist will persist. Haven't it occurred to you that you have to really address what's causing the speaking anxiety in the first place? So that's why when you practice more, you're not touching upon these things at all. So over time, now this kind of goes with like time and skill. Well, people say, oh, if I just learn more skills, if I just get more reps, if I just spend more time, then won't I just feel more comfortable as a speaker? Well, here's the thing. If you just learn more skills and you have more time, okay, most people, this goes back to kind of like what I'm just saying right now, they don't want to show the nerves. They don't want to show that their mind is blanking out. They don't want to show the flaw side of a human being. And that's why whenever we get into a situation, we start panicking because we're like, oh my God, this is about to happen. And then it cycles over and over. So people want to be so good that they never let these things happen. Well, let me ask you this. If you were so good, wouldn't you be okay letting it happen? And I want to be honest with you. Most people, when it comes to severe speaking anxiety, they go to practice events, Toastmasters, speaking clubs, speaking classes, and they only go to try to practice more in order to not have the speaking anxiety, not to raise their speaking skills. I hope that makes sense. So most of the time, you know, again, don't get me wrong, like learning more speaking skills is important, but what I've noticed is most people, they just want to go and practice. I gotta take these classes. I gotta do that in order to get rid of the speaking anxiety. When that's good, they're like, okay, I don't need to practice anymore, and I'm good. Okay, so time and practice is not the most effective way to overcome public speaking anxiety. I've created actually a in-depth webinar to help you go through the psychological reasons and the why behind why we have public speaking anxiety and how to basically break free from it. You can find more information on the links below, but that video will go in depth about how to overcome public speaking anxiety through the psychological side. Now, I'm going to go through 10 tips that ChatGPT suggested, okay? Number 1, let me read this. It says, prepare thoroughly. One of the most effective ways to combat anxiety is through preparation. Now, like I said earlier, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't prepare. What I'm saying is when you prepare, yes, it does help you feel better. But at the same time, it's when you just prepare, you're not addressing what is causing the speaker anxiety. You're preparing, and many of my clients, they over prepare. They script everything out. And if you're someone that script everything out and you practice 1,000 times and you're thinking, I still have speaker anxiety. And you're thinking, oh, I just got to practice more. I just got to prepare more. No, you just have to address the cause of it. So preparing thoroughly is a great thing. But for some of you, you have to know when you're over preparing. And at the same time, if you've been preparing and you still have the speaker anxiety, this is a wake-up call. Then why do you still have the speaker anxiety? Okay. Number 2, know your audience, right? Research and understand your audience to tailor your speech to your presentation to their needs and interests. When you feel that your message is relevant, it can boost your confidence. Oh yeah, so definitely, yes, know your confidence. However, what happens when you get into a moment when you have to speak off the cuff and you know nothing about your audience? So therefore, if you're always relying on, I have to know my audience, what about in chances when you don't know your audience? Are you going to say, oh my God, I don't know my audience, now I'm screwed, okay? So yes, if you have the time, knowing your audience is very, very, very key. I just like to poke holes in everything, okay? So yes, if you have the time, you definitely want to know your audience. But at the same time, you don't want to rely on knowing your audience every single time. You can actually find out about your audience during the presentation, okay? Number 3, visualize success. Imagine yourself delivering your speech confidently and successfully. Okay, let's talk about visualization. Visualization is great. I meditate, I visualize as well. However, when people visualize their success, they visualize themselves in the most confident way. Let me give you this tip. You also want to visualize yourself when you are in a state of nervousness, when you are about to screw up. You want to visualize yourself like, oh my God, someone asked me a question. I don't know how to answer. Now my body is feeling this way. And then you visualize that, okay? The reason we also do that is because when people just visualize success, what do they not do? They don't get into the experience of that state when we are really under attack in a way. Okay? So what you also want to do on top of visualizing success is visualizing when you're not successful. I hope that makes sense. It's a great tip, but I'm just adding visualize when you're also not successful. Okay. The 4th one, start small. Okay. Begin by speaking in front of a smaller supportive audience, such as friends, family, and colleagues. Gradually increase the size of your audience and exposure to more challenging speaking situations. Now, great tip. Of course, you got to start speaking to people. However, when it comes to exposure, most people actually, when it comes to public speaking, have the mindset of exposure completely wrong. Exposure is exposure to the feared outcome. So let's say your voice trembles, okay? So every single time you go out to speak in front of your friends, family, colleagues, whoever they are, and every single time you don't show your voice trembling, you're not actually getting exposure to the thing that made you afraid in the first place. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, okay? So if, again, I'm saying this again, exposure is exposure to the feared outcome. So that means the real way to do it is when you go speak to your friends, you want to let your voice kind of like tremble a little bit, and then you see what happens. What I'm going to say is the slower way is when you go and speak in front of people and you never expose yourself to what was really making you scared in the first place. It takes a little bit longer, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Exposure is good, but it's exposure to the feared outcome. So that means if you don't know how to answer a question, you want to basically go and expose yourself to not having an answer to a question. You can say to people, it doesn't matter if it's with friends or colleagues or you're buying a car, someone asks you a question and you can just say, I don't know. Does that make sense? It's exposure to the feared outcome. Okay, let me go on to the next one. Focus on your breathing, okay? Deep breathing exercises can calm your nerves. We have to breathe. Breathing will calm your nerves, but it does not work long term. Going back to what I said earlier, breathing will help you regulate your heart rate. It'll help you. I mean, we have to breathe, okay? But it doesn't address what's causing the speaking anxiety psychologically again. So that's the only flaw in that. Keep on breathing. Remind yourself to breathe. It's good short term, but at the same time, you still need to address the cause of the speaking anxiety. Okay, number 6, use relaxation techniques. Explore various relaxation techniques such as progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, mindfulness exercise. These techniques can help you calm your mind and reduce anxiety before speaking. Yes, I love to meditate. Relaxation is good. Again, the flaw in this is it still does not address what's causing the speaking anxiety for your particular speaking situation. Other than that, I would highly suggest, get into your zone. What I love to do is, before I have my speaking event on Zoom, I take a little time to center myself, 5 minutes of meditation, get you into a good state, okay? And let me go on to the next one. Positive self-talk. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmation. It's good to be positive. However, the flaw with positive thinking is sometimes you say things and it's too far-fetched for you, and when it becomes too far-fetched for you, you don't believe it. So it's kind of like saying, "Oh, vacuuming is boring too. Oh my God, vacuuming is it's the best thing ever." Because it's too far-fetched for you, you don't really believe it. I mean, do you have to sit in front of a mirror every single day and say, "I'm a human, I'm a human, I'm a human"? No, you don't, because you believe it. So the thing with positive affirmation is sometimes go more neutral. If it's sometimes too far-fetched for you, it's too out there, okay? Number 8, engage with the audience. Interact with your audience and help shift the focus away from your anxiety. Okay. Engaging with the audience, yes, it's a good thing, but however, I would say don't always rely on it, because what if I ask a question? Hey, does anyone have any questions? What do you all think about what I'm saying today? And then crickets. And then you start getting in your head because the audience is not engaging, and now you're thinking, oh my God, they made a face. Oh my God, I'm saying things so boring, they're not even engaging with me. No. Engaging with the audience, yes, does make it conversational, but I would say don't always rely on that, because again, if the room is completely silent, then you start getting into your head again. Okay, number 9, seek support. Consider joining a public speaking club or taking a public speaking course. Get support. Yes, if right now you've been having public speaking anxiety, and if you have not done any, for some of you, you've done nothing, I would say, yeah, it's great that you're watching this video right now and you've been watching this long, so hopefully it's important to you. But seek support, but you need to find the right support, okay? So most public speaking coaches out there, most people out there, they will just say, hey, go practice on your skills, go practice on that. What you need to address also is the psychological, the mindset side of it. So, and I'm just saying that because as a public speaking coach, when I first started speaking and helping people with their speaking, all I did was actually tell people, you just got to go speak more. You just got to do more. If for my clients, if you had no speaking events that you can speak to, I'm going to go find speaking events and I'm going to go there with you. We would go to open mics, story slams, a bunch of other things in Boston. We got all the speaking reps for them, even if they had no event, but yet they still had the speaking anxiety. Okay, so it's just not all practice and getting repetition. Okay, number 10, reflect and learn. After each speaking experience, take time to reflect on what went well and areas to improve on. Reflecting is key. I love this tip. However, if you are going to be someone that reflects, here's what I would suggest that you do. You take some time to reflect, but don't focus on the negative thing first. Don't focus on, oh man, I did so bad, I gotta improve on this. Because most of us, what do? We just nitpick everything that happens that went wrong. I would say when you reflect, start with something that was a win for you. What was the small win for you in your speaking situation that just happened? Okay, so I hope you like this video. And again, I created a full in-depth video to help you understand how to break free from public speaking anxiety. You can click the link to learn more. Other than that, my name is Kit Pang, and I'm here to help you with your public speaking anxiety. If you have any questions, at all, you can visit our website at bostonspeaks.com. Gina, our head coach, is amazing, and she can definitely help you as well. But if you have any questions for us in general, just let us know or email or go on our website. Take care now. Bye-bye.